I mean, everyone knows that the biggest challenge really has come from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Internet freed citizens from the constraints of geography. Internet freed citizens from the need to have a big, expensive press. It freed citizens from having an expensive distribution system to deliver newspaper to every door, or for television companies to distribute it through satellites and rebroadcast towers and so on. So what is happening is level the playing field. All citizens can now do their thing. But whereas that's a good thing, the bad thing about that really has been that it broke the mainstream traditional media's business model. So advertising revenues have fled, newspapers are impoverished. My own newspaper in Canada, the Toronto Star, which is Canada's largest newspaper, had 400 people in the newsroom. We are down to 100. What does that mean? It means you cannot cover local news as well as you did. You cannot cover regional news. You cannot cover national news the way you did before. This is a function of a functioning, good democracy, that you have an informed citizenry. And everyone has an opinion about Donald Trump. But Donald Trump doesn't run your country. Donald Trump doesn't run my municipality. Donald Trump doesn't pick up my garbage, So we need to be informed locally, and this function was performed by the free press. And that model is broken. And now we have different models coming up. Social media, everyone says there's great social media, there's grassroots democracy, human rights movement. It's good, but they cannot perform the same kind of role that the traditional media have played. So we are in a limbo at this point. That's where the world is. That's where certainly the Western world is. In India, it's important that you be seen to be voting for so-and-so party because you want benefits from them. In Canada, in Europe, it doesn't really matter. My job doesn't depend on it. So it's a kind of independence that we have, that people don't feel the need to participate. And that thing has been going down. Except in Canada, for example, that in America it's very true. Because only 50% of the electorate comes. 50% is divided 25-25. The other 50% doesn't care. So you end up with Donald Trump or whatever. In Canada, the participation rate was going down, but it pops up if there's an interesting election, if there's an issue. In the last election, it was 68%. And in some ridings, the turnout was 85%. So if people feel motivated by an election, they do participate. The third part of it really is that the Australian model, which you make voting compulsory. People must turn up to vote. There's a marginal penalty. So when you create a culture of participation, you give it a holiday, people come and go to vote. So you get 98-99% turnout. So you get participation that way. So, but that does not fully answer your question in terms of social media and so on. The connection between lack of interest and the lack of legitimacy in institutions is a new phenomenon. So if we can find a methodology by which citizens can be informed, by which information is checked out, that we manage to tell the people the truth in a subjective way, mind you, that crisis of legitimacy will be mitigated to some extent. So the two are not totally related, but at the same time, both functions need to be carried out.